Hey everyone, Super Andrew 64 here. Right in front of me, I have the BLUN PS4-P03. This is a controller for the PS4, Switch, and PC. Obviously, it's modeled after a PS5 controller. So first, I'm going to compare it with a Dualsense controller. Then we're going to go over the features, and then I'm going to tell you what I like and dislike about this product. And then I'll let you know whether to pick this up or not. So let's get right into the review. So here's everything that comes in the box. You have the controller itself, you have the instructions, a USB-C cable, it's about 9 or 10 feet, then a USB-C to USB-A adapter. This is for the Switch, so you can plug it into the bottom and just use this cable and use a controller. So here's a quick comparison between the Dualsense and the BLUN controller. Looking at these side by side, they are very, very similar. There are a few differences between them though. So the first one being is that there's a PlayStation button on the Dualsense, and then there's just a home button here on the BLUN controller, just has a little house on it. And then staying in that area, there's 3 extra buttons down here, and the Dualsense only has the mic button. The speaker, the grill is a little different. On the BLUN, it's just little slashes, and on the Dualsense, it's dots. And then also on the face buttons here, if you look at this, it has A, B, X, Y, and the cross, circle, triangle, and square. And then with the Dualsense, it just has the cross, circle, triangle, and square. These are probably trademarks, so that's why BLUN couldn't use these images. So another big difference is a light around the touchpad. So if you see on the BLUN one, it goes all the way around here. And then on the Dualsense, I don't have a PS5, so it doesn't hook up. So if you see the lights, it's just on these 2 sides for the Dualsense. So if I flip them up like this, this little outline here stops right there, so the black part, but on the Dualsense it kind of stops at the edge of the controller there. Then you also have the headphone jack on right in the middle for both of the controllers. Then flipping them up like this, you can see on the BLUN controller there's a line here. It's probably for the molding, but on the Dualsense there's no line there whatsoever. Sony's done a pretty good job of hiding the casting here. And then even just looking at the triggers, they look very, very, very similar. So they both have R1, L2, R1, R2. So flipping these 2 over, you can obviously see on the Dualsense there's really nothing going on here, but on the back of the BLUN controller, you have 2 buttons that you can map, and then you also have a switch up here. So there's 3 different switches. So P is for PlayStation, A is for PC, and then S is for Switch. So whatever you want to pair, you have to slide it over using that. And then, so then this button here is to change the light color of the light bar around the touchpad. So the colors you can choose from are blue, rainbow effect, green, red. Then you can have it cycle through the 3 colors. Normally what I do, I usually keep it on, I'll keep it on like nothing, or I'll leave it on blue. And also with the lights around the analog stick, you can turn them up by pressing L3 and R3. So see if you can turn them on and off like that. I'm going to tell you what I like and don't like about this controller. First things first, quality feels very premium. It feels so comfortable. Obviously resembles a PS5 controller. And honestly, it doesn't feel as good as like the actual PS5 controller, but this is a very close second. It feels so comfortable to hold in your hands. The materials feel great. They don't feel like they're going to break or cheap out on me anytime soon. If I bend it, the plastic doesn't shift or anything. These have great materials that BLUN has used for making this controller. Another cool thing about this controller, the lights. There's a light bar around the touchpad here, and obviously you can change it to different colors like I showed you earlier. So you can do blue, rainbow color here, you can do green, and then you can also do red, or you can have it cycle through the 3 colors there. And then also on the bottom here for the sticks, it just has a 1 setting for the blue. You can turn them on and off like that. So it's pushing R3 and L3. Another thing I like about this controller is that it uses USB-C for the charging port. Even the official DualShock 4 uses micro USB, and I still feel like companies use micro USB on a way to maybe cut costs, but honestly using USB-C is probably the best way to go. You can flip it around either way, and there's so many USB-C options now, and it's great that BLUN's using this on their PS4 controller. And then another advantage it has over the PS4 controller is these 2 back buttons. So these can be mapped to either a macro or a single button, and I'm going to show you how they work right now. So I'm going to show you how to set this up now. So all you do is you press the share button and then the M1 or M2 button, depending which one you want to program. So we're going to program this one, which is the M2. So share, M2. So these are now flashing, so I'm going to select this as X. And then, so then you press M2 again, and now it's all set up. So I'm going to press over my settings right now and see if I press this, it's going to be like just the X button. So again, back, try another thing. So go to my profile, press X, see right there. Works just fine. Now to set up a macro, it's the same way. All you do is you hold the share button and then the button you want to program. So we're going to do the M1 button this time. So I'm going to do like X. So I'm going to do circle, X, press M1. Now it's programmed. So let's see if this works. Yep, so see it's working just fine. I'm pressing it once, going back and forth. So if you see right here. So that's how you set up macros and single button used for the back buttons. So this is a great feature to use maybe with a shooting game. If you want to set it to jump and you don't want to move your finger off the right stick, you can set one of these buttons to jump or crouch and you'll be good. And then also this has a functional touchpad. So when I use this on the PS4, it actually works. So if you want to play games like Detroit Become Human and you need to use a touchpad function, it'll work just fine with this touchpad. Another great feature of this controller is that you can adjust the rumble intensity. So you just press this button here, it says MOT, and you can do it like intense, medium, low, or off. Usually I do about low or off. This rumble one is pretty intense, so it kind of bothers my hands a bit. Another great point with this controller that it's multi-platform. Works with PS4, Switch, and PC. So you can connect this with your Switch if you want to play like a Super Mario game, or if you want to play Smash Bros or anything like that, or if you just want to play PS4 games with it, it works just fine. So now I've already shown you the controller working on the PS4, so I'm going to show it to you working on the Switch. So you have to move the toggle here on the back to S. So then you plug in your USB-C cable and it should pair up no problem. So see, it's already paired and we're good to go. The buttons all work just fine. If I just want to unplug it and then use it wirelessly. There we go. See, so it's working wirelessly. Now you can change these again. Use the motor. Turn it off. It functions the exact same. You can use the macros. So it's very easy to set up on the Switch. It's literally just plug and play. This also works with remote play for PC, but not the phone. So I tried working it with my phone. It just would not work at all. But using it with PC on the PS4 mode right here. So if you want to change that to the P, when you're plugging into your computer, it'll recognize it as a DualShock 4, and you can use remote play no problem. So I'm just going to start up remote play and show it to you working. I'm just going to connect to my PS4 here. Okay, so now we're on the PS4, so I'm just going to plug in my controller. Make sure you have it on P mode first. And we're going to plug it in and setting it up. See, right there in the corner. So there we go. See, it works perfectly fine with remote play. All the buttons are functioning normally. We can play a game if we wanted to, and you don't need to buy a PS4 or PS5 controller if you want to use remote play on your PC. Now again, this does not work for phones. I've tried connecting it with my phone. It does recognize it, but it just doesn't recognize it in the PlayStation remote play app. So this is only usable in PC mode. So another great feature with this controller is this 3D button. If you click this 3D button, it will slow down the right stick here. So this is great for first person or third person shooters. If you need to snipe someone, you can actually press this button and it'll slow down the right stick. So I'll show it to you working in Warzone right now. So change of plans on the game. Warzone did not want to load for me whatsoever. It was stuck on the loading screen. So this is Wolfenstein: The New Order. So right now I have a sniper rifle on me. And so right now my right stick is just moving normally, but when I hit the 3D button here, it moves very slowly now. So this would be great if I want to snipe someone and they're not expecting it, so then I can get that little target there and go boom. But then when I want to get rid of it, I just press 3D again, and then it moves normally. So this is honestly a great tool for shooter games. So if you're playing like Fortnite or Warzone and you want to snipe someone and you can't really focus that well with the right stick, you can put on 3D mode and you can get them no problem. And I just ran out of bullets, so that's a perfect time to stop this recording. Then another cool feature of this controller is that when you press the triggers, doesn't matter what game you're playing, I find this great for racing games, is the triggers will vibrate a bit. So when you push it down, it vibrates. You can also turn this off by turning off the vibration here, but it's pretty cool if you're playing a racing game and you're accelerating, so you can actually feel like you're accelerating the gas pedal. Now, there are a few things I don't like about this controller. The first thing being is that there is no way to erase the back buttons. You can only override them or repair with another console. Say like you map one of these buttons to say the X button and you just want to get rid of it altogether, you don't want to use that anymore, you cannot erase it. You can only override it. The only way to erase it is to reset the controller itself or pair it with another console. So that's kind of annoying. I wish there was a way to just erase the setting on it. I've tried multiple ways, nothing says in the instructions, and it just won't work. The other thing I don't like is going back to the trigger vibration. It is a cool feature, but every time you turn on the controller, it's always on. Whether you turn it off before you turn off your console, it'll always come back when you turn your controller back on. So that's kind of annoying. I wish it would just save that information. I don't want the rumble on all the time when I press a trigger. So you're just gonna have to use the MOT button to turn off the rumble motor. And then when you're using this on your PC, you cannot turn off the light bar. And what it does, it actually does the rainbow effect the whole time, and there is no way to turn it off. I've tried pressing the back button here that changes the color. It does not work. So when you use this on your PC, you're gonna have a rainbow effect going constantly, and it does get kind of bright and annoying. So just keep that in mind if you want to use this on your PC. So if you guessed it, I love this controller. I think it's a great controller. It feels just like PS5 controller. If you want the PS5 controller experience on your PS4 or Switch, look no further. This thing costs a lot less than a PS5 controller. And right now, if you use my code Andrew5 off on their website, you will get $5 off your purchase on this controller. I want to thank BLUN for sending me this to review. It's a great controller. I highly recommend you pick it up. So this is Super Andrew64 signing off. Have yourselves a 1-up day, and I'll see you in the next video. And let me know in the comments if you're interested in picking this up. Have a great day, everyone.